I just wish I could have did that for my mom, you know? So in that, and then it was also, I was grateful that my mother wasn't in that position where she needed me to care for her, you know? Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Girl, my name is Ivy and this channel is BooBougie. And girl, I like to say to you, hey boo. Here I am, arms wide open. And if you're a returning subscriber, hey boo. There's a miracle in this room with my name on it. There's a breakthrough, it's got my name on it. Girl, welcome back to the Dear Diary series. Girl, so this is actually the first video in the Dear Diary series. I actually came out here and it was nice and peaceful. It was quiet. And as soon as I came back out, like when I got my tripod, somebody is cutting their grass or their trees or something. So if you can hear that, please excuse that noise. But I wanted this first video. I actually did another video I was gonna put up today. But I wanted the first Dear Diary video to be where we're at, so many of us with seasonal depression. You know, seasonal depression can come from a variety of reasons, right? I know with me, my mom transitioned in between the major holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? And I remember the first year of celebrating my mom's anniversary before we even got to that point. I remember like not even wanting to participate in a day. You know, so many times people told me, oh, you gotta, you know, roll with it. This is life. It happens. You know, not get over it. But what I heard was get over it, right? Like, it's okay. It happens to everybody. You know, people lose their mom all the time. You know, and for me, I thought that that was insensitive. Because how can you tell me how to feel about my mother, about the woman who gave birth to me? Like, I know what she meant to me, and I know what her absence means to me, right? Her absence from my life, from giving me her perspective, her opinion, her motherly love, her wisdom, you can't tell me what that means to me, right? So I was just looking because we're coming upon a season now. It's almost Thanksgiving and my mom transitioned December the 3rd, 2018. And I'm looking at the sunlight peeking through the trees. And, you know, when I think of my mom not being here, I've gotten a lot better throughout the years. You know, I'm coming up on her 7-year anniversary. And what it looked like in the beginning, 2018, when I initially found out my mom transitioned, to what it looks like now. And it probably was about 8 o'clock p.m. on December the 3rd when I found out my mom transitioned. My cousin Alicia told me. So what I will say is I've gotten a lot better. Initially, when my mom transitioned, in 2019, I was diagnosed with clinical depression, right? And they put me on Zoloft, and I was on Zoloft because I would have these crying spells where I would just, no matter what was going on, I could smell something, see something, hear something, and it'll trigger a memory of my mom. And I would just have these horrid crying spells, right? Whether I was with somebody or I was alone, whether I was driving, at a friend's house, at church, I would still have these crying spells. And what the Zoloft did for me, coupled with the therapy, it allowed me to get into a solution, find some, I'm trying to think of the right word, find some coping mechanisms, right, to deal with the loss of my mom. And so, you know, like I said, I wanted to make this video. It doesn't have to be your mom. It could be your dad. It could be your child. It could be your grandma, because I know with my mom transitioning, it hit my daughter really hard, you know, and that was her grandmother, you know. So I just think that people need to allow people the time and the space that they need to deal with the loss, you know, no matter how long the loss is. You know, I remember doing a short about my mom, and so many people were commenting, my mom been gone 21 years, my mom been gone 14 years, and people were saying like they still feel the ripple effect of that parent not being here, you know. So in doing that video, what it let me know and reading those comments, it was, I think it was over 3,000 comments, right? What it let me know is I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like, I can feel what it is I need to feel without being, like, I can totally be unapologetic for where I am and how I feel, right? So with this holiday season rolling around, I haven't felt any type of way. I was just speaking to someone and I let them know, you know, it was a point where I couldn't even have my mom pictures. Of course, they were in my house, but they weren't on display. And I remember not being able to look at her pictures. Like, every picture would just, you know what I mean? So, but now, you know, thank God, right? Thank God for the exchange. God said that he'll give you an exchange, right? He'll give you the peace that passes all understanding. And what that simply means is, where you or others may think that you should be in a frantic state, God will give you the peace, and you won't even know why you're there. And so that's what I've like kind of nestled into, just the peace that comes with that. You know, I celebrate my mom now. When my mom transitioned just means they passed. I just like to use the word transition. When my mom transitioned, I was 49, and I'm 56 now. So that's why I said I'm coming up on 7 years. And I can look at my mom, I could talk about my mom, but it was a process. It was a journey. And do I still have crying spills? Yeah, I still do. It's not as bad as the first couple years, you know what I mean? But I do have spells where I'll look at a picture that I've looked at 1,000 times, and this time I'm crying. It's making me rethink, relive, you know, because when my mother transitioned, I went home and made all the funeral arrangements for my mom, from picking out her clothes, hair, makeup, burial plot, cemetery. I did absolutely everything for my mother, and that's the way she wanted it. You know, it wasn't like, you know, I just came in and said, let me take over, let me take charge, you know, like I'm just her. No, it wasn't that. Before my mom transitioned, on her birthday, 2018, before I got there, because I was living here in Georgia, she said, I got some papers I need you to sign. And I kept avoiding it with my mom. And I'm like, Mom, I don't want, you know, I don't want to talk about that, you know. And when I did get there, my mom said to me, I need you to sign these papers. And so I signed the papers, didn't read it, didn't think about it. Like, here, you want me to sign them? Okay, here, I signed it. And my mother had already set in place for me to be the one that takes care of her when she transition, when she go on to glory, you know. So but I just wanted to come and encourage you. Like I said, it don't matter whether it's your mom, your dad, your sibling, God forbid, and we know it's true, like we know it's true, your children, you know. Be encouraged, you know. You don't have to apologize for how you feel. You're entitled to that. Please, if you don't get anything else out of this video, Know that you are entitled to feel exactly what you're feeling. You know, the feelings will subside, the feelings will pass, but until they do, you know, and let me tell you this. You can always start your day over. If you having a bad moment in your day, if you are feeling overwhelmed, overconsumed, right? You can take a break. You can take a pause and you can start your day over. Regardless of what it is you may need to do to get you back to that place where you're functionable, right? Whether it's take a bath, read a book, maybe call a sibling, maybe watch a favorite movie, whatever it may be. Like, you don't have to stay stuck. You know, I'm coming from a place of I've been there and I understand. So this video is solely to encourage and inspire. Ma'am, these holidays don't be no joke. You know, because what happens is you look around at other people, be it social media, in your real family, from the simplest thing as a girl shopping with her mother is enough to trigger an emotion, right? So give yourself some grace, put down the bat and pick up the feather. Like, don't beat yourself up. This is coming from a place of love. Do not beat yourself up, sis. You know, and I'm saying sis because that's just how I talk geared towards women, but men as well. Don't beat yourself up, you know. So anyway, welcome to the Dear Diary series. I know what this time of year can be like. You know, I know. You used to pass it down traditions. You used to the cooking in the kitchen and the laughing and the joking. And that's too much sugar. You got that fire up too high. You know, little things that your mom would tell you, you know, which helps you to become the woman, the cook you are today, you know. So little things like that, you know. Maybe a dad teaching his son how to play ball, or, you know, helping him get dressed for the prom or his wedding. You know, it's a lot of things in life, you know. Life is just life, you know. The person I was talking to today, we were talking, and she made the point was, she said when you're born, the clock starts ticking on you to die. You know, and that's the truth. You know, and like in the conversation we were having, like when a baby is born, you're celebrating that baby. You're like, ooh, and you know, he's so cute and her cheeks is chubby and this and that. But it actually does start the clock. From the cradle to the grave, it does start the clock. And in life, we are going to have, you know, like we know that people are going to leave our life. You know, we know that this is inevitable, that it's going to happen, right? It's just when it happens. When it happens, even though we know it's going to happen, we're never prepared for it. Never prepared for it. You know, I was watching this video last night. This young lady, I watch her here on YouTube. Girl, y'all know I like to do this, especially when I'm resting or want to rest or whatever. I just actually got up from a nap. I took me a little nap. But I was watching this girl, Alanda Madeline TV. Y'all could check her out. She's caring for her mother, and her mother has dementia. And when I was watching her video yesterday, it just kind of made me feel some type of way. And it made me feel a couple of different ways. Let me say that. You know, watching her care for her mother, it made me feel like I wanted to do that, right? For my mother. And when my mother left here, she had started having like forgetfulness. Wasn't a lot, but she was starting, because earlier that year she had been in a coma. They put her in a medically induced coma. And my mom was in a lot of pain. a lot of pain, right? And it would have been selfish of me to want to keep her here, right? And when I was watching Alanda with her mom, and she was dyeing her hair, and she was shaving. You know, like, if y'all ever watch me, y'all know I have facial hair. It's a family trait. My mom had facial hair, my aunt had facial hair, my daughter has it. And she was shaving her mom. And I just wish I could have did that for my mom, you know. So in that, and then it was also, I was grateful that my mother wasn't in that position where she needed me to care for her. You know, God will always have you see the blessing in whatever it is you're doing. You know, I commend, y'all, I'm telling y'all get a chance, check her out, Alanda Madeline TV. The name of her channel be on the thing. It takes somebody with strength and character to care for your mother or your father. You know what I mean? The Bible says, honor your father and your mother, that your days upon the earth may be long, you know. I got a friend here, a dear friend here, Erica. She's caring for her mother and her father, both of them. Together, she's caring for both of them. And I look at her and I'm like, it's nothing but favor to care for your parents. You know, it's a saying, twice a child, or once an adult, twice a child, something like that. And when you have dementia and you go into that state, and it's so funny because the pastor was talking about that yesterday, about a brother or sibling, but their mate, wife. The wife is caring for the brother, but it's not the same conversation that it was prior to the onset of dementia. You know what I mean? It's like basic conversation where it was intellectual conversation before. The dynamics have changed due to the dementia, you know. And he was saying she stays because she loves him. Love, you know, unconditional love, you know. So anyway, y'all, listen, because girl, I mean, I'm feeling fine, don't get me wrong. I am. Girl, when I think, you know, like my mom, she got to meet, experience, live, and enjoy, life with Lauren and Terrence. She never got a chance to meet KK. You know. And I could just only imagine what I already know of my mom to interact with Kennedy. Ooh. These are definitely tears of joy. Tears of joy, because even though I didn't get an opportunity to take care of my mother, the blessing is she didn't need me to. That's the blessing. You know. So, I love you ladies. I love you guys. I love you all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Oh, girl. I just thought I was going to come out here and talk. I didn't think I was going to get, you know, consumed with emotions, right? But this is my mama. Just like I said, that's your mama, your daddy, your child. Feel what you need to feel. And I make no apologies for the tears. The leg, girl, my leg is shaking. I know you see the tree because my body was just actually just trembling just then. But it is what it is. I'ma feel what I need to feel. I've learned in this life not to hold stuff in. Like, I have to get stuff off of me. I'm not holding on to any of that, you know. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Be encouraged. I love you, but better than that, God loves you. Okay? So y'all be blessed. Welcome to the Dear Diary series. And girl, I'ma see y'all in the next one. Y'all make sure y'all please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Yeah. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
30 degrees, way too cold, so mommy gone. Will I see you at the show tonight? Will I see you at the show tonight?